So a very good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to my favourite spot in East Yorkshire. I'm talking about Spurn Point. See these posts behind me? We're doing some long exposure fine art photography. Some more down there, and we'll also do some down there. Let's get stuck in and see what we can create on a very bright and warm late November day. So first up, let's go for a walk down here, and I'm going to show you what my plan is. The tide's going out, which is going to be a little bit of a rush job for this first one, but for the second photograph I've got in mind, it's going to add something in our favour. So behind us is the first set of groins that we're going to take a photograph of. I'm not sure if you can see this behind me, but somewhere back there is a horizontal board. That is going to be the cut-off for this photograph. I want that to be the anchor point at the bottom left-hand side, that bit there of the image, and then it's all going to run sort of diagonally through the photograph, leading out small to big. I'm going to blend the horizon away. As you can see, there's some nice cloud above there, and for the most part it's probably going to be black and white, but I may try and leave some colour in these boards. So I don't know if you can see this, but the light is catching them really nicely in some lovely greens and browns in there, so we'll try and leave that in colour. Let's just see how we get on. So my favoured camera is set up with some filters on the front. We have a 10-stop ND filter, a polarising filter, and I've also got ND32 turned on, the live ND in the camera. That's giving me 60 seconds at f5.6, and I think we're just a smidgen overexposed, but the histogram is, well, it's right in the middle, so happy days. So let's go ahead, let's take this first photograph and just see what we're going to grab with this. Obviously it's quite a bright sunny day, you can see. There's some lovely cloud texture, but overall it's a very bright and sunny day, a little bit counterintuitive for this long exposure photography. So there's one very key part to taking photographs like this, and it's being cautious of the horizon. If I'm taking a photograph where I'm going to blend things, I like to keep the subject below the horizon. It makes things just that little bit easier when it comes to blending the two together. So if I turn around and show you roughly where my camera is positioned, you may be able to notice the posts are below the horizon, so they're in the sea and everything in the sky is all contained. When it comes to selecting subjects and masking around things, it just makes life an awful lot easier. I do like these old fishing pots. There's crabs or lobsters, but plunking them in the surf and letting the tide wash around them, it always makes for a really fun looking photograph. Tide is also washing around me. Alright, so this photograph has taken, well, a little bit of finessing really. I've been trying to chase the tide out with this crab pot, trying to get it in the right spot, and also trying to get it to maintain like some sort of stillness as the waves are washing around it. But the sun's just popped out now, which I'm hoping is going to shine some nice colour on this crab pot. We're going to have a nice black and white photograph. So I'm just taking a test photograph. I've still got the polarising filter on, I've still got the 10-stop filter on, and I'm still down to ND32, f5.6. We're getting a 60-second exposure on it, which I'm hoping, now there's some light, a nice black and white photograph, a nice colour subject. Let's just see how it turns out. There is nothing better for the soul than coming out to an empty beach on a lovely warm day with a camera and doing a little bit of photography. I'm in a very good place right now. This past week, the UK, we have seen all kinds of stuff, mostly wet stuff, some really cold stuff, some really cold and white stuff, and today is about the first day in a week and a half where it's been sort of feasible and realistic to get out to the coast and take some photographs, and I'm glad I've made the effort this morning. I mean, I'm soaked wet through as per usual, but you know, it's great just to come out and just chill, just enjoy the waves lacking against the beach and all that kind of stuff. So I think the posts for the next long exposure photograph they're about there now. They maybe need a little bit more time to reveal some more of themselves, but just behind me, through a gap over there, you may see some small vertical things sticking out of the sea. And that's the subject of the next one. I just need to find a way of doing it, because I've shot these several times in the past, and I kind of just need to work out a nice new way of doing them, as well as keeping them below the horizon. And then we're going to have to remove a wind farm and blare some things out and blend some things, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. So let's get the camera equipment moved down there and see what we can do with these ones. So I've made it to the next set of groins. I'm a little bit disappointed in a way, because some of them are poking above the horizon line, but because the tide has gone out so far and the beach is now so low, there's not a lot I can really do about that in order to get the composition that I want, which is them just streaking across the screen in a nice horizontal line. So this is going to take some finessing and a little bit of thinking about. Yeah, a little bit disappointed, but I'm sure this photograph will work all the same. So you can see here on the right hand side of the frame, those are the groins that I'm talking about. And imagine this, but a lot more zoomed in. That's kind of the composition that I'm going for, is sort of this area, this area, this area. Sort of the top, this portion of the screen, really. A nice 60-second long exposure, some nice clouds blowing across, some nice tide washing around it. You can see, I don't know if I come down a little bit lower, you may be able to spot some of the taller ones are just poking about above the horizon. I'm not happy about that, but as I say, there is not a right lot I can really do about it. So as with all of the photographs that I've taken so far today, I'm using the Olympus 12-40 f 2.8 Pro lens with a polarizing filter, a 10-stop filter, and some live ND goodness turned on as well. A lot of the time the lens on the front of this camera is kind of my go-to. It's just a great all-rounder. I kind of think of it as a 24-80, that kind of full frame field of view, the one that everybody likes to walk around with. There is a micro four thirds option for it, and this is the one that I'm using today. And as I say, it's the lens that more often than not you will find screwed to the front of my camera. So let's take this photograph then. So I'm at f5.6, 60 seconds. We're 2/3 of a stop overexposed, so it's not a bad thing really, but there's a very static seagull there. That may make for an interesting addition to this photograph. So let's go ahead, let's take this. It's going to be the same as the other photographs that I've taken today, one of those fine arty kind of things where you blend the sea and the sky. The sea, the sky, the sea, the sky, the sea. If you've got kids, Peppa Pig, you'll know all about the sea, the sky, see the sky. So there's a lot of blue in this photograph. I don't know if I like that, or if I don't know if I want to do it black and white. I haven't quite made up my mind yet. I will show you the photograph with whatever I've decided to do with it. Today I've had a bit of an epiphany. So I bring along with me 2 tripods and 2 cameras. I have an EM1 Mark II in the camera bag with a tripod all ready to go. And I've filmed all of this on a GoPro with a selfie stick and an automatic drone, one that does everything itself. It's been an awful lot easier today doing everything with this than trying to set up tripods and cameras and worry about all of that jazz. I might try this for a few videos and just see if it's a lot easier to do, save carrying all of the gear with me and just carry basically things that I need to make a video: a microphone, a GoPro and a drone. Let's try that in the future, eh? If you make YouTube videos, how do you shoot? I'm curious to actually know, because I've never really found a way that I'm absolutely comfortable with. Most of my videos are shot on the EM1 Mark II. It's a great bit rate and I love the quality of it. But carrying around 2 setups, it's a bit of a chore. I'm wondering if something like this might be the way forward. Let me know. A disaster has befallen my walking boot. One of the eyelets has come off. It's probably no real surprise. I spend a lot of time in the sea, so there's a lot of salt water around. Because of that lot there. I wonder if I have a rivet gun at home. I can see what I'm spending my evening doing. Repairing these. So we're going to go for a little wander down the beach. I've noticed there's some concrete cubes sticking out of the sea, and I've never really seen them before. So we're just going to have a little bit of a wander down and see if there can't be something done with them. Just to take a photo of a slightly different subject here. As much as I love this place, Spurn Point, Spurn Head, whatever you want to call it, but there's only really just so much here, and it's kind of been done. A lot of it by me, some of it by others, but so whenever the opportunity to photograph something different comes along, well, why not take it? Let's see what we can do with some concrete blocks at the North Sea. So just behind me there are said concrete blocks, and just behind me a little bit further are the posts that I was just taking a photograph of. You can see how moving round changes the angle and groups them closer together. It creates a slightly different looking image, and I'm wondering if we can't use those as, well, basically something of a foreground. So we're going to have a 60-second long exposure of the tide sloshing around the posts and these concrete blocks in the foreground. It just adds another element, another dimension to the photograph. So let's get set up and just see if we can't do something with these. So let's have a look at shooting this photograph then. So we've got 60 seconds, f5.6 and ISO 200. There are 5 concrete blocks, and the posts are bang smack in the middle of this photograph. ISO 200, 10-stop filter, polarizing filter, live ND64, all giving me that 60 seconds worth of long exposure goodness. There's a lot of white water swirling around this photograph. It looks quite nice, actually. I'm hoping it's going to add a little bit of an element to the foreground on this. So let's go ahead, let's take this photograph. I'll show it to you once I've finessed it a little bit. I'll tell you what, it doesn't take long for you to start feeling the cold when you've been out on the coast and you're a little bit damp, a little bit wet. Yeah, it might be a warm sunny day, but it's still only around 5 degrees. It's mostly the sun that's keeping the heat in, and I've been paddling, which is, I'll be honest, making me sulk a little bit now. So I think it's time to wrap this one up and go home. So thank you very much for watching this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it. And if you liked it a little bit, just give it a thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm to show it to new people, basically, and that's what this is all about. It's all about finding a new audience and growing the channel a little bit more. If you have enjoyed it a little bit more than that, and you like long exposure photography, or you like micro four thirds nonsense, well, why not hit that subscribe button down below, and you'll see more of that from myself every single week. So until that one, I think we're going to go home and get warmed up a little bit. So I'll catch you next time. I'll just love you and leave you and say peace and goodbye.